Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Fix It and Post. My name is Joshua Gasaway.
I'm Kevin.
And today we have a special guest.
Oh, yeah, I started way too early.
You're fine.
Hi, I'm Srimanya. Nice to meet the one person who's listening. And that's probably Josh when he's
probably
editing.
It's my
Finn.
parents. Yeah, it's Finn, yeah. This week we're talking about fight scenes.
Yeah, we're gonna go over some of our favorite fight scenes.
Yeah.
They're all pretty recent.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, not
Some-
all of them, I think.
not all of
because I think mine are like 2 or
Yeah,
3
you
years.
you added some new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
we'll have
we
some
each-
honorable
we each picked
mentions
some,
as well.
Yeah, we each have a few that we want to go over, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
who wants to start?
Do you guys have any honorable mentions that was like on all of our lists?
I think
kind of.
let's do that after our top 3.
Well, I was just thinking because like if we had one that's on all 3 of our lists, we could start with that one. But
I don't think we do.
Okay. We can start with mine then. Because mine's one of the most recent ones. I feel like maybe Atomic Blonde, the fight scene in Atomic Blonde.
Well,
which is,
Kevin's, if you have John Wick 3, isn't that the...
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Way
matter.
to spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of mine's John Wick 3, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. but so let's
Sorry.
go into Atomic Blonde first. I
Neither
guess.
of us have seen this movie.
So
Oh, yeah. No, I have
you haven't
not
seen
seen
the
it.
movie.
Atomic
Okay.
good movie, but basically she's a spy. She's top of her class, and like in this fight scene, it's in a corridor. It's done mostly in like one shot or like one. There's like cuts, obviously. But
Yeah.
a lot of the action is just choreography, and it's really well done. I like a lot of things that look like one shot. So like any like choreography that actually takes time and effort put into, I'm kind of a sucker for. And so yeah, basically she's just going down this corridor and like kicking some serious ass.
Yeah.
lot
Well,
of
what makes
martial
it
arts.
what makes it your favorite? So you said the choreography. What makes
Yeah.
it stand apart in your mind from other?
Well,
from
just
other
like,
fight scenes.
like just the one shotness of it, but also like if you like look at it from like an actual like perspective of like where she's going for the weaknesses and things that actually would make sense and like how you would actually take down those people. And so it's just like it's more of like it's obviously still like a movie fight scene, but it's more realistic than a lot of the fight scenes I've seen. There's not like a million jump cuts just to make it look actiony, and even the gunshots are pretty realistic. Like it's all in close quarters where it's like, okay, yeah, that's reasonable that like they would not fire that gun, or like that's reasonable that like she could probably hit that out of the way and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of badass to see like I don't know, like a female character that's not like force fed as someone that's badass.
Right.
She's just badass on her own. So
I'm trying to think like what, because I think it's like kind of a trope in movies that like women beat guys by they do their gymnastics kind of
Yeah.
like Black Widow
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. You know, she's like doing a bunch of high kicks and like Catwoman, you know, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, which is always like. That's kind of, you know, it seems funny that
it works to a point, but at the same time,
It seems like
if you get like a huge
the
burly
trope.
man, it's like it's gonna be harder to take him
But
down.
then it's
even if you
also
use your
it's
force
also like
against
when I
him.
just see, so I did watch this fight scene beforehand, but when I see a woman who she's like going 1v1 with this huge like lumberjack dude,
Yeah.
and it's like you're gonna have to convince me that like her punches are hurting this guy.
Yeah.
You know, like so for a scene like that, I want some like creativity and like
yeah, they kind of have the
her-
Superman issue where it's like if guns aren't working on Superman, why are you punching him? Like if like
yeah.
why would you not try like a gun first if you're a girl against like a huge burly guy?
Yeah, it seems like she should be trying to use a gun or a
Yeah.
knife or anything, or like stuff in the environment.
I feel like they made it pretty convincing.
I
though,
love
like,
when they use part of the environment as their
Yeah.
in their fight.
Yeah.
Like I love when they
Yeah.
utilize what they're doing.
Do you think
Or-
it would have gotten a lot better if she used some kind of like a baton or something?
I actually think it would have been better if she
Yeah, I
used
don't
the
know.
stairwell more. Like if she like pushed a guy over the stairwell, utilize that.
I don't know.
More.
Like I feel like maybe if just like being more defensive, I guess. Like maybe like because I feel like if I were her, I would know like I can't let these guys land very many punches on me
Yeah.
because they're enormous. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like she would have to like be
Yeah.
dodging a
Yeah,
whole bunch
yeah.
and then find like a really critical moment when like, oh, they're off balance and I can like throw them down the
Yeah.
stairwell or
Yeah.
something. You know,
it
stuff
also is like
that.
a stamina thing. Like she probably wouldn't not actually be able to take as many punches as she did in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was taking quite a few beatings there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, and like a lot of fight scenes and stuff, I just appreciated like that they didn't cut. And it's also pretty like recognized as like one of the best fight scenes and stuff. So I'm kind of like, it's a little bit troping off that, but I also just genuinely think it's a great fight scene, and I think it was very well choreographed.
Fair enough.
You wanna go next, Romano?
Oh, my
Little guest star.
Are we doing like top one? All right.
Top
Just you don't have to. I mean, mine aren't in any particular
Yeah.
order. So
Okay. Well, then I do want to talk about the one that we just saw recently, is the Ip Man fight.
okay.
I think. Oh god, it's been a long time that I've seen the movie. To summarize it, well, people cannot. If people want to know the story, watch it.
I don't even think we necessarily have to
yeah.
summarize the movie. So we
Yeah.
can just say this is what's
All I
happening.
know
in
is,
this scene.
best way to put it is he was Bruce Lee's master.
Mhm.
And that fight scene, I love that fight scene because it has, well, it's not one shot like Atomic Blonde. It was like, there are definitely, you can notice the hits, but one of the best things is just how you can see every punch land instead of
Mhm.
just camera cutting away to, and when the punch lands to guy acting
Yeah.
like he's getting punched. It looks so real. That's one of the things that I
Mhm.
like about it, because like all the like Asian movies, like say Chinese or Japanese, like they have a lot of like martial arts or
Mhm.
their fighting styles. I truly don't know what all of those fighting styles are, but those movies, those specific movies, they have these long 7 to 10 minute fight scenes, and
Yeah.
they're all just one shot. Sometimes they look
Yeah.
so good and they look so real without just them acting like they're getting punched. It looks like they are.
Yeah, and you
punching
can
each
like
other.
see that exhaustion.
And yeah,
Start
and probably in
start to carry out.
few movies they actually did punch people. I know that it was Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, I think, where they actually where the extras did complain that Bruce Lee beat the shit out of them
Yeah, actually hit him.
when they're fighting. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think those. I mean, making the fight scene realistic is what I think.
In fight scene, in that particular fight scene, he's fighting like 10 guys.
Yeah,
at once.
10 black belt,
10 black belts at
10
once.
black belts at
And
once.
in fights like that, I'm always curious about like, you're always wondering like, what are the other 9 guys doing while he's railing on this one guy?
Why do I always go in like one-on-one?
It's like, and I mean, there is like a crowding issue to where like, you know,
Mhm.
you
But,
can't,
like from a staging perspective, yeah, that makes sense. But like,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They can't just like,
yeah,
Last Jedi.
I know, but it's like you'd think they would do like a football kind of thing and like all just huddle around
Yeah.
him and just
beat the crap out of him.
dog pile on him, you
Yeah.
know, and then it's like,
What are you gonna do?
You got him pinned down. What do you do?
Yeah,
But
like in real
that
life,
doesn't
it's
make
like
for a good movie.
yeah, like I was gonna say, like in
So-
real life, it's like yeah, you're not gonna probably win that unless they go one-on-one for some reason.
Yeah,
It's like
Uh,
they're all trying to be the
Mhm.
glory henchmen.
yeah. There's actually in some movies, I know The Dark Knight makes this mistake.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. The Dark Knight
talk-
Rises or Dark Knight?
Both.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher
Both,
Nolan
yeah,
can't direct
yeah.
fight scenes, but that's one of the reasons the movie's not perfect. I talk about it in like every episode. But
Yeah.
there's like you can
Actually,
see.
yeah, I think every episode so
you can
far.
see in like the background. There's like stuntmen who are like they just like
Yeah,
fall
yeah,
down out
yeah,
of nowhere,
yeah.
you know, because it's they're just like and,
Yeah.
then they like trip and fall because it's
Yeah.
like there's so many guys standing around just
Yeah.
waiting for Batman to get to them, you
Yeah.
know, and so it's like
Yeah.
they can't all just be. It's kind of funny when you actually like notice it. You slow it down frame by frame. It's like that guy just fell down, but
Yeah,
no one
for
was
no
even
reason.
close
Yeah.
to him. But yeah, that was group fights like that are always interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, I could talk about one of the ones that came to my list, and I don't know if this would be top 3, but
do your John Wick 3 first though,
why?
because we already mentioned it. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna talk about big group fights, but
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
never mind.
Go ahead.
I thought you were gonna do your movie.
so
Sorry.
Kill Bill,
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
It's which one? The shadow fight or?
the House of
Oh yeah. I mean yeah.
whatever.
The whole fight sequence. Okay. I thought you were just specifically talking about the one that just.
No, yeah. The what is it called? The House of something.
Every time someone's the House of whatever, I go to the House of M, but that's a Marvel comic run, so that's not.
The House of Blue Leaves.
Blues, okay.
Yeah. That fight. That's another big, huge group where they're all just standing around. Like, I mean, it's like 40 people or something like that, you know, and they're all just taking turns.
Yeah.
That one's a little different, I guess, because she's kind of working her way through
Mm-hmm.
through it, you
Yeah.
know. So that's more like they're in a line, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's one. I mean, that one's like so over the top, and that one. I mean, you know, that one's inspired by those kung fu movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that because it's so over the top. You know, like her jumping up and standing on the end of some guy's sword as he's like holding it out and shit like that. You know, it's just like so
Out there.
comic
banana,
booky,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and like her plucking out people's eyes. And
I mean,
like,
her movements alone are just very
Yeah.
comic booky. So I mean, it works for the fighting style though. But yeah,
but see, that actually bridges those two, because that's one where it's a woman fighting a whole bunch of guys
Yeah.
who are probably bigger than her, but it's all with swords, so
Yeah.
it almost like equalizes it, because
Because it's all about technique. And
it's all about
And
technique
actually with,
and
like,
just not
with-
getting cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
With swords
So-
like that, like being nimble and dexterous, it's actually almost an advantage.
Right,
over
yeah. So
being
that's
big burly
that's
dudes,
she's
so
just dodging all their
Yeah.
blades.
it's like a
Which
dance.
ends up being cool.
Fighting's like a dance.
Too bad she
It's
didn't
like a
dodge
dance.
that bullet.
That at the very
Yeah.
beginning, yeah, the one into her
The
head.
one into her head.
She should have dodged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, how hard is it?
She should have dodged that loogie of spit that Tarantino spit
Just
on
took
her.
The mic. Yeah.
All right, or
Yeah.
dodge that tree that her car ran into. She should have dodged all sorts of things in
Yeah.
those movies.
I just wish protagonists just dodge bullets to
I
their
wish she
heads.
just dodged
Matrix Part 2.
Where's Leo DiCaprio for The Departed?
All right.
Oh man.
All right.
What
Josh,
about you,
got-
Kev? Oh, are you not going to go talk about John Wick? Oh,
I-
was that actually one of yours, or?
that was one of
Oh,
mine, but
okay.
I can talk about John Wick since we already brought it up. We
Yeah.
already spoiled it. Yeah, John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Oh, yeah.
The knife shop scene.
Oh, yeah.
John Wick fights are always solid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
And
only
those-
thing I've seen from John Wick is Keanu Reeves training in that, like, just that video
the-
of
at the
him
gun range.
at the gun range. Yeah, that's such a badass video, though.
And these movies are, made by stuntmen,
Yeah.
and they usually try and strive for realism
hmm
in the way that he takes people out. And I think my roommate called it gun fu.
Gun fu.
Like the way that,
That's great.
and I don't know where that came from, but
I think it was that one YouTube group that the CGI experts.
Rocket
oh,
Jump.
yeah, Corridor.
Oh,
Corridor
I think
Crew.
so. I don't know what their name was. They mentioned. I think they mentioned Gun Fu because I saw.
I
that
feel like
episode.
Rocket
Maybe,
Jump
yeah.
might have done Gung Fu as well.
But yeah, it's like a whole thing about.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll like go through and like pop 3
Yeah.
into their chest and then
Yeah.
1 into their head. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
or like he always has to be reloading. He's
Yeah.
always running out of bullets and shit like that. Stuff that just doesn't happen in a lot of movies, and particularly
it keeps
one
the action going too.
one
like,
realistic thing that happens in this fight. So I mean, like John Wick is like this world class assassin. He's like the best in the world,
Mhm.
and he's fighting a bunch of guys in like a knife shop, and
Mhm.
they both break the glass and start
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
knives at each other, but they're missing, or like
Mhm,
they're
bouncing
like
off.
the knives are bouncing off because it's like you're throwing a differently weighted knife every single time. Of course, you're not just going to be able to pick a random knife up and throw it perfectly
Yeah.
into some guy's head, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like interesting that like they're bouncing off each other
Right.
and then occasionally one will land.
Yeah,
They
and
get it right.
that actually shows like how
Uh-huh.
scared they are, and they're not.
yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
they're missing. It shows that they're not completely
Right. And
accurate
it's interesting because it's like, it's like a knife just bounced off of John
Yeah.
Wick. And it's like, if that guy had thrown it better,
Yeah.
it's
It
like
would've
it would have hit
hit
him,
me,
you know?
yeah.
But he was also panicking because John Wick is throwing another
because
knife
John Wick's
at him.
throwing knives at him, yeah. Or like, he takes at the end, towards the end, he like stabs the guy in the
Yeah.
skull, and the
Mhm.
knife like sticks into his
skull.
just
then you have to-
just
yeah.
barely, and he's gotta
Oh.
like hammer it in,
Yeah.
you 'cause
And then
it's
like when he pushes a knife straight through his eyeball too,
Yeah.
just like the strain on both of them was
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, that made it
but
so
it's
much
like
more
it makes
gruesome
sense. It's
too.
like you probably couldn't stab a knife right through somebody's skull, It's like
Probably
a
not.
hard bone.
Yeah.
So he has to
Unless
like,
like at the
hammer it
back
in.
of the skull where you have the soft spot, but
Yeah,
that's-
well,
Yeah,
but
like
this is like right on his
Yeah, yeah,
forehead.
yeah.
It's like that's pretty hard. You
It
probably
actually
couldn't
it kind of
stab
reminded
straight
me of the Witcher scene because in the first episode of The Witcher, there's that fight scene near the end where he just stabs his sword straight through his skull and just.
well, he's also a mutant
Ooh.
with super strength.
Well, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know. I'm just saying, it was badass and it was
Stupid
good.
comment.
Yeah,
Josh.
sorry.
No, like
Why'd you bring that up?
Sorry.
When you mentioned like how
Witcher.
the protagonists need
Watch
to
The Witcher.
reload their guns, that kind of reminded me because recently I saw Indiana Jones: Raiders of the Lost Ark again. I think that was
Yeah.
2 days ago, and in the beginning of the movie where Indy fights like several guns in a bar fight in a
Mhm.
bar,
Yeah.
and you can see his revolver shooting like 10 bullets.
Yeah.
It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And
Count the bullets.
it's
Count
just
the-
great to see the evolution of like finally like the choreographers realizing,
Right, they're-
oh, don't they have to reload?
Somebody has to reload their guns,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Like there's times, and then it's not even just that. It's not even like he has unlimited clips either. There's
Oh,
times
yeah.
where he runs out of
And-
clips and he's got to steal a gun from somebody else, or he's
Yeah.
like he's waiting around a corner because he's got no bullets left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's waiting so he can
Yeah.
choke the guy out as he comes around.
And I think like the one thing that I noticed, like since like Indiana Jones to the fight scenes now, the choreographers are trying to figure out like if you're planning to have a hand-to-hand combat, they're trying to see how to get rid of the guns in the most realistic way possible. Like
Yeah.
every single movie, like well that like if we're going to talk about the next movie that I'm going to bring it up, it's like Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
It's like right before, it's the bathroom fight scene with Henry Cavill and
Yeah.
Tom
Where he
Hanks. Tom
reloads his
Hanks, not
fist.
Tom Cruise.
Where he reloads his fists.
Yeah.
Yep.
That in that scene, it was really good
One of my
because
favorite memes.
because we're not gonna expect that the fight scene was gonna happen because they both go in and Henry Cavill knocks him out with a computer.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, the fight scene's
The
done.
fight's over.
And then you see Tom Cruise's gun falls out. They make sure that he's
The
at
gun's gone.
disadvantage because he doesn't have a gun. And
Yeah, because then otherwise you'd be asking the questions like,
Yeah.
where are their guns?
Yeah.
And do you think like when that happens, like now oh, the gun just dropped and there's a specific shot of the gun dropping down. That means I'm just kind of spoiled that there's going to be a big fight scene now.
Yeah. Actually, so in preparation for this, I was going through fight scenes and I watched another John Wick one from the beginning or from like the first one. And there's a part where he like, he's going through a nightclub, the nightclub scene, and he's like, going through a whole bunch of guys and he gets to the end and I think he's out of bullets. And so he and this guy are brawling and he gets like stabbed in the, chest and thrown off this over the balcony.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a second gun and shoots at the guy. And it's like,
Yeah.
why didn't, where,
He just shoots the second
where
gun.
was that?
Yeah.
It's like you had a second gun,
Yeah.
where's,
Well, I mean, you also like there is like some leeway, I feel like, in these fight scenes and stuff, because like when you think about, if you think about the adrenaline, you might forget about a second gun if you're
but he's
fighting.
John Wick. He's
I know he's
world-class,
John.
man.
He's
He doesn't
world class,
forget
but
anything.
like I don't know. Have you ever been in that situation with a ton of adrenaline?
Every day.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
oh,
me?
my bad.
Me and
Sorry.
Kevin just go
But
fucking
it's just
shoot
like
random
if
people.
I was brawling with somebody, I feel like I would be able
Yeah.
to remember I
was trying to
another-
play devil's advocate, but it's like
I got another gun.
Yeah.
Like I should find half a second to pull
Pull
that
it
other
out.
gun out.
Yeah.
Is that what
Just gotta
actually
whip it
happened?
out.
I don't remember that scene. But I
It
do
was-
remember
it
him
was-
shooting the guy, but I don't remember.
He like falls off.
Yeah.
He gets thrown over the balcony, which is, by the way, it was
Yeah.
like a 20-foot balcony.
Yeah.
He just shook that off.
Hey,
But
like we said, he's
Well,
John Wick.
he's John Wick.
Speaking of get thrown
He's
off
wearing
a
a bulletproof
balcony,
vest, so
Oh, yeah.
obviously that makes
It,
him immune to fall
it-
damage.
Minimizes-
we can transition into mine with getting thrown off a balcony.
Okay.
So
we're talking about.
well, yeah, but we gotta keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm saying yeah.
Yeah.
What is
so? Duel of the Fates.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
With Darth Maul falling into the pit at the end, getting
Yeah,
cut in half.
that's-
Yeah.
Duel of the Fates. It's just a fantastic fight scene. Like everyone knows it. Everyone knows the music from it, and it's just. I was actually watching it last night
But
with one
the
of my friends.
movie is Star Wars Phantom Menace. If
Yeah, if you
people
didn't
haven't
know.
Yes,
figured
yeah.
that out.
Sorry,
you-
the Duel of the Fates.
If you weren't a
fight scene.
nerd and didn't know that that's the name of like the song
you're
that
not-
plays in the background,
Yeah, I
or
was like, one of
something.
my friends was talking about it. He's like, yeah, like the Obi-Wan fight scene with Anakin's called the Hero of the Battles or Battle of Heroes, whatever. And I'm like, I don't.
I think it's
the
basically
Mustafar
if you're
fight.
anyone but Nate, there's the movie title for you.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
actually, one of my roommate, like I told him this is what we were doing for the podcast, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Can I come talk about the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight?"
Hey,
scene?"
he can be on my Star Wars podcast.
It was
That was a good fight scene. But Duel of Fates,
Duel of Fates.
Yeah, Duel of
that
Fates.
fight scene, I think it is my number one fight scene in
Yeah.
Star Wars. I think after that,
Mhm.
fight scenes are just after that. I think it's the Obi-Wan
I was gonna
versus
say that's Nate's
Anakin,
favorite.
and then probably the one from Vader in Rogue One.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I was thinking because I was thinking of that, and it was like
Yeah.
I
that
don't
was
even know.
the only good fight scene in
that-
the new Disney era Star
Is
Wars.
that
I
even
disagree.
really-
I think the throne room scene is actually.
Bullshit.
I actually
Bullshit.
like. I like
That's
the
one
throne
of-
room scene.
No, that's the
It's
worst
the
fight
choreography.
scene.
Okay,
That's one
Have
of those
you
ones.
seen it?
That's one of those ones where you can see guys in the background
Like they're
just
just
falling down.
yeah.
for
they're
shit.
just doing whatever they're doing. I was like,
'Cause they're
what
just
is
did you know they
standing there.
actually burnt that set though? Like
Really?
they actually did that fight in the fire.
They should have burned
Oh,
the whole
wow.
movie.
Oh my god.
They should have burned
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, there was
all
not
the
a lot of great fight
No.
scenes in the new trilogy,
Like,
but
I mean, like when I saw the throne room fight scene, I was like, wow, I was impressed. But then I was like, wait a second, what did I just watch? And I was like, I think they would have made it a lot better. And then there,
well, they have
I've
to do it in one take.
And
And
then
like the entire choreography is like done in one take.
yeah, but still, they can do.
Not
They
one
could have
take,
done a
one
lot.
shot.
Yeah.
Is it one shot?
He has one shot. Yeah.
I don't remember that much about it. But
Yeah. That's fair.
They could have done
I
a lot
remember he
better.
pulls the
Yeah.
saber like through the guy.
Yeah. Then they fight together.
And then they fight together.
Raylo
And
happens.
apparently that was for nothing because they hated each other again immediately afterwards.
Well, yeah, but then they made up in the last movie.
Well, this is not a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah,
I
go
think
listen to
the
my
reason
Star Wars
I mentioned
podcast.
mentioned the Last
The
Jedi
Vader.
fight scene because,
Or-
like you mentioned, like people are doing whatever they were doing and not using utilities. Like John Wick's second gun, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Force users have Force. They don't use that in the
Ever.
fight scene at all. Like in
Ever.
the sequel fight scenes, they use less Force. I don't know why.
That's actually a thing. We're getting too deep into Star Wars now,
Yeah.
but I always
I'll
think that.
I'll
I was
just
like,
link my Star Wars podcast. In the
I always
description of this one.
there's
Call it
excuses
good.
for everything, but I was like, there's so many more creative things you could do in a battle
Yeah.
than just like push and pull somebody. It's like
Yeah,
Yes,
like-
yes.
like
I don't
Yeah.
fucking force squeeze their nuts or like force
Well, like
turn
I
off
feel
the
like
lightsaber.
yeah force turn off their lightsaber.
I was thinking about. I was like, why can't you just
Or
just
like-
literally force turn it off and then turn it back? Yeah,
I don't know like force just do a whole
anything,
bunch of stuff.
anything, literally anything
Literally.
other than push pull.
Force
Yeah.
like
Nah,
I
dude,
mean-
it's adrenaline. They forget.
they forget they have to concentrate.
The
I don't
midi
know.
chlorians made them stupid.
Anyway,
It's
Anyway,
like,
sorry, we got a topic.
we're out of Star Wars.
instead of that,
Yeah.
they could like. Have you guys seen the movie Troy?
No, with Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
I have not.
That has a duel between who's the guy who played the first Hulk? Eric something.
Oh,
Edward Norton.
Edward
no,
Norton, yeah.
before Edward
Oh.
Norton.
Wait, there was.
Eric-
Yeah.
Eric Bana?
In Hulk.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I think that's right.
No.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno.
No.
What?
Oh,
no.
yeah, that's from the TV show.
That's the TV show. No,
that's
not
the TV
that
show.
one. It's
That's actually
oh.
no. That is hilarious though. That in the old TV show, they just found the most jacked
Yeah.
dude in the world. And
Yeah,
it
no.
was like you're the Hulk.
They
Like,
just
where's-
painted him green.
You can't act, but we're just gonna paint you. Green
I
and-
love Lou Ferrigno. Don't even step
where's
off,
that?
Kevin.
It's like Eric Bana.
Eric Bana, yeah.
Eric
It's
Bana.
him versus Brad Pitt. They do a really good fight scene.
Oh,
Like it's a
really?
duel between
Mhm.
like that's a good fight scene. I
Wait,
could've
there was
just-
3 Hulk movies.
Yeah.
Well, there was Hulk,
And then there's
and then there
Incredible
was
Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that was
with
Edward Norton.
That's the MCU one.
Yeah. And then Mark Ruffalo's a Colonel.
And
Wait,
then
there was
Mark
one
Ruffalo
Oh, I forgot
got-
about. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
There's
Yep.
there's Hulk.
Yeah.
like, which was
I just remember the Edward Norton
Ang
one.
Lee directed
Yeah.
it.
I mean, since we're already in superhero genre.
I
think-
tried to avoid superhero scenes.
No,
I
but
have
think,
one though.
No, but there's this one fight scene. Like we've talked about it. I think
Mhm.
it's the best fight scene in all of superhero movies. It's the Batman
He's super,
versus
yeah.
Superman. The movie's shit.
The movie shit, but
The fight scene in the warehouse, it is one of the
Dude,
best Batman
Counter
fight
argument.
scenes.
The fight scene also when Batman's having that vision of Darkseid is also good. When he's
What?
fighting the demons, when he's fighting the
is that in
parademons.
Justice League?
Is that the Justice League movie?
I
movie
haven't, seen, I
shit
haven't
as well.
seen Justice League, so I
That movie is
can't
horrible.
vouch for any of that.
Well, so basically, Batman's like falls asleep and he has this like dream about like Darkseid and like the parademons and stuff. That might have been Justice
That
League.
must
I
have
might
been-
be
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I might be.
that fight
Back
scene-
to the warehouse scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was yes.
because that was definitely on my list.
like
Batman
yeah.
definitely killed people in that warehouse though.
Oh, yeah.
they're
okay,
dead.
okay,
He did,
okay,
he
okay.
did, he did.
Yeah,
Can
they're-
we
Yeah.
we refer to that? Okay, so obviously I really like Batman because I talk about the Dark Knight all the time.
Wait, do you
Right.
talk about the Dark
and I
Knight?
recognize that the Dark Knight fight scenes are lacking,
Yeah.
but the Batman v Superman warehouse fight scene is just Batman ripped straight out of a comic
Oh,
book,
yeah.
Yes,
doing just the coolest shit.
Yeah.
And so
I
Like-
actually like Batfleck a lot, and I'm really sad. That
I thought he was fine.
I
I
liked
it was
Batfleck,
fine,
man.
but I was
thought
like,
he was good.
yeah.
I just like Christian Bale more because the
That's
movies
fair.
were better.
I
but
mean,
yeah.
they ruined Batfleck at Justice League, but we'll talk
Yes.
about that.
yeah, I haven't
that.
seen Justice League, so
Yeah.
I can't vouch for that.
Also,
but,
fuck Ezra Miller. Moving on.
Oh, all right.
Nice
Yeah.
dude. Not
But,
a good Flash.
But the fight scene, yes.
So like, there's like people talk about that. It's like Batman's definitely killing people, and it's
Yeah.
like I think of it as like Batman has this rule where he doesn't kill people,
Well,
right?
technically, he didn't kill anyone in that. He
Well,
threw
the
a
movie.
box at a guy that crushed his skull.
He's saying that we're saying that like the movie says that he didn't kill anyone, but
Even in the fight scene,
I think he
didn't
broke
kill
it. I
anyone.
think he broke his code because like, he breaks his code after he kills the
Okay,
Joker in the
but-
comics and stuff. So I
No,
feel
I'm
like
saying
God,
no.
he's got that code of like he doesn't kill people, and I take that as like he's not gonna execute people.
Yeah.
But like
He's gonna
some
fucking
dude
break
throws
the
a
bones.
grenade at him, and he hits the grenade back, and
Yeah.
it blows that guy up. He's
That's
like,
not his
well,
fault.
yeah,
That's
but
not
not
his
his fault. That's like that was that
Yeah.
guy's grenade. It's like, or
I don't know.
because
Because like his specific code is that he doesn't want to kill anyone because I think he feels like that he would give into the darkness and like the evil.
have you
and then
seen
he would become a
Batman
killer.
Begins?
Have you read the comics?
I think it's the
though?
difference. It's like
No, I'm
when
saying,
given
have
a
you seen Batman
choice.
Begins?
Yeah,
When
Batman
given a
Begins.
choice, he's never just
Yeah,
gonna
no, I
execute
agree.
somebody. But it's like
Unless
if
it's
he's
Joker.
fighting for his life and he throws a box
In
and it
self-defense,
hits
yeah.
somebody and that person ends up dying, it's
It's
like
not his
Yeah,
fault.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Well,
technically.
it's not-
He's not the one who.
Well, yeah, but I'm
must
saying like
be.
when he's
know.
shooting people like in the Batmobile though, like with those canisters, like they're dying.
There's a reason why.
that's true.
Batman
I'm actually
Superman was
I'm
bad.
playing Batman Arkham Knight right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
game.
And
is
that one's
so
like
good.
mega, like you can like run over people in the Batmobile.
well, yeah, but it's
and it-
technically
I mean,
taser,
and it's like shocking them, or you
Yeah.
can like shoot like I don't know sandbags or
bullets?
some.
yeah,
sandbag-
it's like it's,
rubber bullets.
it's
or
like
something that
huge.
just
Yeah,
knock-
yeah.
But it's like
What
every
a
single
good game
time.
though.
I don't know. You just know that like all these goons he's beating down have brain damage. Like
They're all going to Arkham.
yeah.
That movie does like as we talked about, does a one thing like how Batman takes away the ability of like people using guns. They are not able to use guns in that fight scene because he uses his gadgets to
Yeah.
destroy the
He,
guns.
he does get shot though.
Yeah, he gets
a
shot
bunch of times
in the
he's,
head.
because he's got a bulletproof suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they use the cape again. Like I think one of the podcasts that I've listened to mentioned like how the cape looks badass and it's very
Also
useful,
fireproof.
but also at the same time it's very disadvantaged.
Yeah.
'Cause they use
They
that
pull on
cape
a
to pull
skate.
him down and then
Yeah.
stab him right in the
Yeah.
shoulder or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna
This
say,
guy's
but I
much
feel like
back
it's
there.
more useful though than it is like a weakness.
I don't know.
Well, because it allows them to glide and
It's
it's,
so cool. I like
fireproof
it.
and,
I like it because it has utility, but it's also
Yeah.
like in a
Yeah.
fight scene, you'd be like whipping that shit around.
Maybe maybe you should be able to like
Batman Arkham. Like he uses that to stun people.
yeah,
yeah.
you can stun him. But yeah, thinking about it in like a real fight scene, it's like
Yeah.
maybe
that
like
get in the way.
It might be able to like if you can like attach it to the suit so it doesn't get in the way and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Like,
just not have
no-
it whipping around basically.
That's
Just-
why
Nolan-
Batman Beyond is just so
Nolan
fucking cool.
gave
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Nolan gave the audience the coolest Batman, like how awesome Batman is, but he failed to give amazing fight scenes. The fight scenes
Right.
are great; they're not bad, but they're not as good as like
Yeah.
Like it could have been better.
It's just those aren't the those
Yeah.
aren't the highlights of those movies
like
because it's like
Batman. Batman versus Superman was shit. Like it shows like how uncool Batman is,
yeah.
but the fight scene alone itself just
yeah.
reminds everyone about the Arkham.
I mean,
series.
I've heard that before. That like the Dark Knight is a movie about Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
not a movie about Batman.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
God,
But
such good movies.
but it's like I do love some good comic book act, and it's like
Yeah.
he's doing stuff in that scene that's like that's like he's supposed to be just a dude, you know, he doesn't have any superpowers and he's doing stuff that's but like I don't care because I'm watching just cool shit. you
Okay,
know?
can I make an honorable mention while we're talking about this?
All right, we can insert an honorable mention.
Shivani's gonna give me so much shit for this. The CW has
Moving
awful.
on.
There it is.
Moving
I knew
on.
it. I knew
The CW has
fuck the CW.
awful-
we weren't gonna get through this podcast.
we
without a
talked about
CW
it
reference.
yesterday. We were like, Josh is gonna bring up CW no matter what.
Josh, nobody but you likes watching a rubbery CG
No,
flash
no, no,
punch
no, no,
people
no,
in
no,
slow
no,
motion.
no, no,
I'm
no.
just
Let
gonna
me
tell
let me
you.
let me finish. There is only 3 good fight scenes in all the CW shows, and it's on Arrow. It's not on Flash. The Flash is CGI shit. I only like the Flash because I'm a fanboy of the Flash.
You probably
However,
like Supergirl.
But
huh?
you get to,
no,
you get to-
Supergirl has gotten so PC and it's garbage. Anyways, let me. Can I just?
Yeah, that's
speak-
why it was bad. That's why
Yeah, it's-
Supergirl was bad.
you can see fight scenes in Arrow. I thought it's
Can
just
I?
too dark.
Can I? Okay, there's a fight scene in season 8 and season 7 that's really
They
good.
got to
And-
season 8.
That
Oh,
ended with
stopped
season
after
8. Yeah.
season 2.
No.
Holy
Dude.
crap.
Season 2 was fantastic. The
Yeah.
Deathstroke fight scene is great. That's the other one, by the way. The Deathstroke season was fantastic. But in the most recent season, there's this like fight scene that's done in all one shot, and like I watched behind the scenes on how they had to choreograph it and stuff, and it was just like the choreography. There's so much effort and time put into it. It was done very, very good, and you could actually see everything, and it utilized every character and like their acrobatic skills in different ways. Because like they're
How many
all
characters are there?
there's like 8 or 9. They're all gymnasts and stuff. There's like
And who
yeah.
are they fighting against?
Just a bunch of like goons and stuff, and like Diaz's men, and Diaz. I think
Diaz.
Diaz. He was the main villain. He's the dragon.
He's a dragon.
What's his deal?
He's basically like a drugged up like super lord of like the
Like-
7 circle thing. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Like Bane.
Yeah. The Raish in that show, by the way, is awful. Like great actor, fine dude, awful Raish.
What?
Raish Al Ghul.
Oh.
I don't think anyone can beat Liam Neeson's.
Liam
Ra's al
Neeson was a
Ghul.
good Raish.
Like they did a fantastic job with Ra's al Ghul in the Dark Knight series.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my CW rant. The CW shows, other than that, have shit
Okay.
CGI, shit fighting, but that was
Okay.
my one little cherry picked moment. Okay.
So you think the redeeming factor is the acting?
okay,
the drama?
Stephen Amell.
No,
Stephen
we're not
Amell.
talking anymore about.
I
CW.
love
We're
Stephen
I
Amell.
not-
shouldn't
No,
have
you-
opened
no.
this box. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Stephen Amell is the most attractive man, but also
Oh.
there is this fight. There is this scene when
I didn't
he's.
think that that's where this was going.
There's a scene when Prometheus has him locked up in a cell, and it's some of the best acting I've seen in like
Who?
a while. is
You're
one
just
of the main
saying all
gods.
these made up
Is one-
names.
yeah,
I remember that Dolkish
Yeah,
Danis
Prometheus,
in
you
the den
know.
of the Domel.
the one that brought the fire to the human. No, I'm kidding. But no, he's locked up in this cell and basically just breaks him, and he just has this most like super emotional moment. It was really good and it was really enjoyable.
like
Not all the
every other-
acting is shit in the CW shows. Thank you very much, and that is my rant.
I think there's just one person that agrees with you.
Listen to
It's
my
just you
podcast on the
editing
CW
this
show.
podcast.
It's coming out next week. No, it's not. I'm
my
not starting. I'm
God.
not starting a podcast on CW.
But what's the other fight scene?
Yeah. Do you have any more, or can I go to my last one?
Go ahead. I thought
So,
there was more
on,
anyways.
well, on the topic of superheroes, my last one is the Avengers fight scene from the first Avengers, the Battle of New York. That
Okay,
one,
but,
that one
but
shot.
which, okay, but that's a
Alex.
shot. Which
Well, like the entire
Where
thing of like, so
everyone just
Iron Man
joins?
swoops in and just starts like lasering a bunch of guys, and then it goes into like you like see Captain America, and it's Iron Man and Captain America working together, and then he flies up, and then you get Hawkeye shooting the guy off the roof, and then it just keeps panning around to the different superheroes until you get that like glory shot of all of them just like together.
the
and,
money
like,
shot.
Yeah, the money shot.
The money shot.
That's just when Disney just comes all over it. So
That's okay.
Oh.
I thought we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
this
thought
is
we had
weird.
some filters
Just
on
why
here.
why did
Yep.
you just make this podcast
All right.
weird, Josh?
I cut that out. So.
I think that one of the reasons that I didn't bring up any Marvel movies because like their fight scenes are great, but they're never some good
Yeah, it's a lot of
hand-to-hand
CGI.
comebacks.
I
Like I didn't
love-
even like the Black Panther fight.
I
scene.
feel like
Oh, if
Winter
you're gonna- yeah,
Soldier.
Black Panther
I feel
fights
like
can
Winter Soldier had the best chance to have a good fight scene because it was a spy movie. It
Oh,
wasn't like,
dude, the elevator fight scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was a
yeah.
good
That's
fight scene.
awesome. Well, okay, yeah, I
Before it
love
begins.
I love
Everyone
Captain
wanna get
America.
off.
Yeah.
His fight scenes are cool, like
Yeah.
because he's a brawler.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love the classic, like in the Mission Impossible bathroom scene. There's a part where like Henry Cavill's just got a guy up against the pillar,
Yeah.
and he's just throwing punches
Yeah,
into
yeah,
like his kidneys
yeah.
and
Oh,
ducking
yeah,
under
yeah,
his
yeah,
punch
yeah.
and hitting
Yeah.
him in the face, and it's just like straight, like he's just boxing, you know.
Yeah.
But it's classic and it's cool.
Yeah.
And Captain America does that shit
Yeah.
a lot in the movies.
Yeah.
Where he's just like brawling, you know.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible fight scene, that fight scene, I really like that because we don't know who the winner was. Because Henry Cavill gets knocked out, and then Tom Cruise almost gets shot in the face until and unless this other person comes in and shoots the guy in the face.
Right.
Because that's one of the best fight scenes because we don't know who
It's like
won
who was
in the
gonna
end.
win? Yeah.
But someone just robbed that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to talk about this one fight scene. I don't think we should call it a fight scene, but it's the reason one that I laughed my ass off and cheered. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt
yeah.
grabbing the hillbilly face and just smashing it to the table.
I mean, that was just like a
I would say that's
social
a fight
justice.
scene.
Yeah.
Him,
Yeah.
him,
It
him
was-
dispatching
Yeah.
those hillbillies.
That was a social
there's no
justice. at the
choreography,
end,
but
like-
there's satisfaction to it. I don't know why. I just turned into a psychopath and started enjoying that scene. I was
Yeah.
like yelling in the theater. I was like, "Smash that bitch's face!"
Yeah, no,
And I
that's
don't-
fair.
It was
like,
such a good scene.
yeah, it was a fun scene to watch, and like you felt very like gratified watching it.
Yeah,
It had a lot of gratification to it. So
yeah.
yeah.
And
Before we get off superheroes, though, I want to mention the fight scene in Infinity War. It's all CGI, but it's also still really good because it was a good use of all the characters' powers and working together, and it was like actually like a good fight scene. Other than that, they're not that great.
Which one?
The one on Titan,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
we're all
gotcha.
we're all
Yeah.
working together. Doctor Strange like makes like a million of them, like the portals and stuff. That's when
Yeah,
Peter
yeah.
Quill hits Thanos on the head, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was a good fight scene
Yeah.
leading up to that. Okay.
So one of my honorable mentions I would say is the in Infinity War in Endgame with Cap
And the hammer.
Cap wielding Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
I was dude
Oh yeah, Cap wielding Mjolnir. Yeah, that was
I was
that was a crowd cheer moment.
quivering in the theater. I swear to God, like I was barely holding it together.
that fight scene, it's just he gets the hammer, he unlocks all the special moves.
Dude,
Literally.
it
Well, I
was-
mean, he's seen Thor using it for years, so
I
it
mean,
makes some
Not,
sense.
not
like-
saying it's a bad thing.
Cap's
I'm
like
just
my
saying.
favorite character.
Yeah.
And him just like you see
That's
it, you see that shot of
such a
the
good
hammer
moment.
just slowly getting lifted
And, like,
up,
you knew,
and you
too.
know it, you knew,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Oh, I didn't know it.
it's
I did not know it because I was
Really?
not paying attention.
I
was bored in the
wasn't
I'm
super
kidding now.
prepared for it, but it's like I saw the hammer,
Yeah.
and like Thor's getting dicked on in the
Yeah.
in the background out of focus, and you're like, it's gonna get gonna
has to be
get picked
Cap.
up, and it starts getting picked up, and you're like, huh, and then it's a second, you know, like the hammer
Bum,
throws
bum,
and
bum,
hits
bum.
hits
Thanos,
Thanos, and
yeah.
then gets
Yeah.
Cap summons it back,
Yeah.
and it hits him, and he's got a shield. Oh,
It
dude.
is so good.
So
And, like,
good.
That and the Avengers Assemble moment was just so good. Like there's
That
just
was-
two huge payoffs. I was like, yep, all right, here we go.
Fuck.
My, I
that
think-
movie just really
It was
delivered.
fan service,
That
yeah.
really
It was-
delivered for me. I don't even care, dude. It was
It was,
like
yeah.
it was just so much fun.
I did not like the first half of the
My
movie, but it's
honorable
fine.
mention would be like the one that we saw a few minutes ago, Eastern Promises, the bathroom
yeah.
fight scene. Oh god, that fight scene is so uncomfortable to watch, but it's so interesting to just see that fight because Viggo Mortensen, who plays also Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, if nobody knew him, he is naked in the bathroom and fights
Yeah.
two goons.
You like it because you see his dick.
Yeah, I'm all about Viggo Mortensen's dick. No, but that fight scene is so good because he's not at an advantage. He's completely at disadvantage. He's
Yeah.
so vulnerable. He gets stabbed multiple times, and then in the end, he kills those two goons because he's the protagonist in the story. He has to
Yeah,
move
because
on.
he's got plot armor.
But still, the entire
You can't
fight
die.
I
scene
hate
is so
plot
good.
armor so
can't
much,
die.
man.
Then how do you love CW?
I was just gonna say, dude.
That's fair. You know what?
What are you talking about?
Well, to be fair, Oliver died.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it came
Yeah.
out. It didn't come
After
out.
8 seasons, dude. Also, yeah, he got like thrown off a cliff and like stabbed through the chest or something like that. And
Yeah.
and they brought him back to life with
Yeah.
some weird
Well-
flower, right? No. Something
Oh
shit
yeah,
like that happened.
Katana did kind of.
That
bring
feels
him
like
back,
a
but-
Bollywood
He
movie.
brought him back.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like
That's plot
they,
armor.
they explained it through
That's
like
the plottiest of armor.
Okay.
Of, like
that was 3 and 4 are the most shit seasons of any
No,
TV show.
we're not
I've ever
talking about
watched.
that again.
we're
but
off
like-
the CW. Off the CW.
No, hop on my CW.
Fuck the CW.
No. Okay, let's fuck the Marvel shows though. Iron Fist was trash, and I love
Actually,
Iron
so
Fist.
wait, I didn't get to one of mine.
Oh yeah.
Not fuck the Marvel shows.
Okay, fuck most
Unfuck
of them.
Daredevil.
Yeah, that's true.
'cause,
And Punisher.
I haven't
Jessica
seen Punisher.
Jones season
So,
1
really-
was great, by the way.
Really, all I've seen is Daredevil, and I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Daredevil because they had the crossover. They had the Defenders or whatever,
Yeah.
and I didn't watch the Defenders because I didn't want to watch Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Iron Fist. And then season 3 of Daredevil picked up after the Defenders,
Yeah.
after a whole bunch of shit had gone down. So I was like, oh, I can't watch this season because I don't know
Yeah.
what happened. I'm not going to just read a summary. So anyway, that's a little rant about that. But
And then they canceled.
yeah, and then they canceled
That's
it.
sad.
But the Punisher fight
Oh
scene
yeah.
in
That's-
the prison
Oh my god, yeah. That's
is
a good fight scene.
brutal. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I'm almost always a fan of making something darker and grittier
Yeah.
and more violent, like
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
making it more realistic, I
Yeah.
guess. And so in that,
Mhm.
like watching Daredevil, where he's like snapping people's legs and
Mhm.
like all this crazy stuff and getting stabbed and shot
Oh, yeah.
and in the prison fight, he's like there's an extended shot of him like shanking
Yeah,
a guy
yeah.
in the stomach like 6 times in
Yeah.
a row just to make sure he's dead. Just
So fucking real.
and he's
Yeah.
that's another one where he's like you can see his exhaustion throughout
Yeah.
it, and he's getting stabbed and cut
Yeah.
and stuff, and that one was
And
just
then
like
the people with riot shields walks in.
awesome, yeah. And then
God, it's a good
and
fight
then
scene,
at the
yeah.
end, he's just there, just like drenched in blood of like, and there's just a hallway of
Yeah.
20 inmates or
Yeah.
something that are dead. It was crazy.
Yeah. That reminds me of Watchmen. The prison fight in Watchmen.
I actually haven't seen Watchmen,
Oh.
the
Me
movie.
neither. I
You're
just
talking
saw
about the
fight
movie.
scene, but I remember that fight scene so much. It's such a badass scene.
I'll have to
But
watch
since we both didn't see it, we have no right to actually
No, right to actually
talk
talk
about it.
Wait, you guys haven't seen Watchmen?
No,
I haven't
like
seen Watchmen.
if you paid attention and stuff, being
If
on
you
your
were
phone,
listening,
you
you
actually
sorry,
would've
I was
texting.
yeah, I was
understood
dealing with
that. Wow,
something. Sorry.
isn't this your podcast?
Yeah, this is.
Finn,
but,
if you're listening, Josh isn't committed to this podcast.
Oh, I am
Subscribe
committed.
to
I'm
mine
sorry.
and Kevin's new podcast.
yeah.
like
Yeah, you
fuck
and
the
What
Josh
Equipment.
podcast.
No, Watchmen's a good movie though. Actually, it was fine.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things. I've heard the TV show's awesome.
Yeah, I really want to watch the TV
So,
show. That's
I
on
should
my
probably
watch
watch
list.
the movie if I was going to watch the TV show. HBO's so goddamn good at TV, dude. They've got so much shit on there.
You know what else is really good at TV?
I agree. Except
Actually,
for the
dude,
last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. but
There's
sure.
another good fight. I mean, there's lots of good fight scenes in Game of Thrones, but yeah. Okay. The Mountain versus
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Cleg-
what's his
the
face?
Clegane Ball.
Prince what's his
Prince
O'Brien.
Ali.
Prince yeah.
Fuck.
What? No, what's his name?
I don't know.
I think O'Brien
Prince
Martell.
Prince Oberyn. Prince Oberyn.
Oh, I
That's
thought
his
it was
name.
O'Brien. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
it was
that was a good fight scene.
mind-numbing
That was gruesome.
fight scene. That was
That was
sure
the end.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. So
soul-crushing.
Yeah.
I mean, skull-crushing. My
skull
bad.
crushing. I was sitting there. I was watching it at like 1 a.m. because I was binging Game of Thrones in a mad dash to catch up
Yeah.
for the final season, so I could watch the final season with my house. So I was watching like 2 or 3 episodes of Game of Thrones at night
Yeah.
for
Oh,
literally
man.
like 5 weeks, dude.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like 2 a.m, and I ended on that of his skull getting crushed in his bare hands, and I was just like, all right, time to go to sleep. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, lights off. Just
I haven't seen Game of
Dream
Thrones, but that's
about
one, of the,
that.
that's one of the few scenes I've seen from it.
dream
Yeah.
about that all night. Have you
Okay.
seen the edit where they put lightsabers on their swords?
No.
You probably like it.
Okay.
There's somebody
Which fight scene?
that fight scene, the
Oh,
Mountain versus
okay.
Prince Oberyn. There's a version where
Yeah.
they've like edited lightsabers over their
I have
swords,
I've not seen.
and
I've
so they're
not seen that, but I've
they're,
seen the fight scene, but not that.
yeah.
Game of
added,
Thrones
like,
do
the sound
have
effects.
good fight scenes,
Mhm.
and then they had to fight off the writers to make the show better, but
yeah.
it didn't. Yeah, it's just disappointing.
Anyway, did we miss any? Did we miss any of the fight scenes
Um,
that we wanted to mention?
I think I mentioned all of the movies that I wanted to talk about. Mission Impossible, Eastern, John Wick. Well, John Wick pencil fight, but I think pretty much everyone.
We did go pretty in depth into
Yeah.
John Wick.
John Wick was pretty great, and then I think it was. I think I picked these movies. Like I grew up watching, Tollywood and Bollywood movies, like these Indian
Mhm.
movies where the protagonist can fucking fight off 8 billion goons with one
Mhm.
punch. Everyone fucking goes to Kansas City from India.
Yeah.
It's like that. And then just watching some Hollywood movies with good fight scenes just
Mhm.
made it so real, where the protagonist can actually get damaged.
Yeah.
Like even like talking about like plot armor, like watching Viggo Mortensen in Eastern Promises getting stabbed was so much better than looking at every protagonist in.
Who just walks away
India's
without a
they're
scratch
just
every
like,
single time.
You shoot a
just
bullet, they dodge.
unfazed.
They dodge bullets.
yeah.
It's annoying.
I've watched Corridors videos, where they're breaking down. They have their whole series on VFX, and
Uh-huh.
then they have their stunt series breaking
yeah,
down stunts, and then they have a couple episodes on Bollywood too,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's like breaking
Like,
down
I've seen,
Bollywood
like-
VFX. So I've seen those and like just the over the topness of like
see, that's one of the things that too, because like here, like in like anywhere outside the world that does not watch Bollywood, they expect realism in fights. They
Mhm.
love that, but everyone like in India, like they grew up watching fight scenes where the protagonists have to be super powerful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not gonna like the fight scene because
Mhm.
that's the kind of a tradition that you grew up to be, and that's the kind of expectations you get when you're watching another movie. Like
Yeah.
if you see your favorite superhero or the superstar getting their ass kicked, you'd hate it. First of all,
yeah, that's so
It's
funny because I love that. I
Every
love when-
Bollywood movie I've watched, it's always like kind of comically. Like
what
how-
movies have you seen?
The ones that you've showed me.
I haven't.
Yeah, you have. Like we literally have watched Bollywood movies.
That was
at-
YouTube compilation of
No,
funny Bollywood movies.
Well,
What-
that, but also the one that
What's
your
the one,
favorite Bollywood movie. Yeah, what was
the-
the
It doesn't
the
have
one
any
I-
fight scenes. What are you talking
the one
about?
I've seen. What's the one?
The Bahubali Part 2.
Bahubali. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen,
Bahubali. See, I loved the first 2 movies because it was the first time in India. Like we had so much production money put into that movies with good VFX. Like the VFX were horrible before that movie, and
Yeah.
that movie got recognition for Indian movies. Like everyone in India, like all the movie stars, are so proud of that movie, even though it has some moments like like in the Part 2 they jump off. That was the worst part of that movie, in my opinion. Like, but if anybody hasn't seen like those movies, I'm pretty sure not many people in America did. But that movie is basically Lion King, basically, or Hamlet. Easy way to say it. The protagonist's father dies. Protagonist comes back to avenge his father. That's the plot of the story. I like the story. Like I liked how their adaptation of like Lion King or Hamlet, but there have to be, like I said, like audience expect protagonists to do things that are impossible in real life. They
Yeah.
have to, because people have to, the directors have to reach the expectations of
Yeah.
the audience. Otherwise, they're not going to get the money that they put into the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
always a fan of like the most realistic, like or
Yeah.
like the
I
most
love
like
those too.
the
I love
most
those,
down to
yeah.
earth of like of like they're just doing totally shit that it's like I could do, like that's possible, like I
Yeah.
could see a real person could maybe feasibly do that,
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
stuff like
Like,
the Punisher fight scene where he's just stabbing a
it's
whole bunch of
almost
people.
like entertaining to watch them lose because when they win, it makes it that much more satisfying.
Yeah,
That's one thing that I don't understand. Like like even bad movies in India have like some fight scenes where the protagonist is super powerful and has some good fight choreography.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to mention. I don't know if this is W or not. The show Lucifer. Now it's Netflix, but it's not now it's like
think it was
next-
Fox.
I think it's Fox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's Fox.
Lucifer. Like, it's basically Satan comes to Earth, enjoys his life in LA.
Great show.
That's-
Good show.
It's a fun show. It's definitely is a fun show.
Are there fight scenes in it?
Yeah,
Kind
there
of,
are fight
yeah.
scenes. There are like a couple fight scenes. I was like, but every time you see someone like Satan trying to beat up a bunch of goons, you expect it to be like something amazing. Like this guy could fuck up these people,
It's satisfying.
but they're never that. I never had a satisfaction in those fight scenes.
Really?
They're
Yeah.
always no, because they're always like.
There's that one fight scene when Amenadiel and Lucifer just go in and just beat the shit out of
It doesn't
everyone.
look good because there's so many jump cuts in that fight scene.
Oh.
Like you never
Yeah.
see them hitting. Like I think there's just one shot him jumping through a window with his wings open. That's the coolest the show that ever
yeah,
got,
that's
and
pretty
then
cool.
that was it. The fight is
I don't
just
know.
horrible.
Like in that fight scene with Amenadiel and stuff, they're bitch slapping guys left and right. You just see them flying. It's
Like I said, like I've seen movies where protagonists beat the shit out of people
Yeah.
with good fight choreography. Watching Lucifer, I was like, oh, Indian movies did it better.
that's all right.
What's like you're doing this, you're shooting in fucking Vancouver. You could have gotten a fight choreographer and made this fight a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like that was we talked about this before the episode, but like the Jason Bourne movies, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, those fights.
Those fight scenes, I can't stand them.
No,
you know,
yeah.
like
Jesus
you
Christ,
count it,
Jason
and it's
Bourne.
it's like 3 cuts for every punch, dude.
Yeah.
It's like exhausting to watch.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Same with like a
Way
lot of the
too
Marvel
much.
movies have that too, or the Transformers movies. It's just like cut.
Well-
And especially like Transformers movies, it makes no sense because it's CGI. Like,
Yeah.
why not just show us more of the action?
money. It's just
No, it's more money
Actually,
to do more jump guys.
I haven't seen
Really?
any
I
of
don't
the
know.
Transformers movies.
Really.
I think maybe I've seen the
Good
first
call.
one.
Good
I
call.
think maybe I've
first
seen
two are
part of the
fine.
first one,
Yeah,
but
the first two are fine.
I don't remember anything about
I
it.
watched them because when I was a kid, I fucking loved Transformers,
Yeah.
and the fight scenes were great. But then
Yeah.
when I grew up, I watched them again. I was like,
When
why did I do
Ironhide
this?
died, this series went downhill. So-
This series
Just
Is it
keep
a series?
spoiling.
okay, if you haven't seen that by now, that's your own damn fault.
No. I'm saying like, have you guys seen any Jackie Chan movies?
Yeah.
That are not American.
Oh no,
I don't think I've seen a full movie. I've seen
Okay.
some of the fight scenes.
I watched the
Okay.
animated adventures.
Oh, okay. No, I mean,
Oh, of Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
there's an entire genre of those fighting movies because I remember there used to be a channel called Movies Now where they used to play a lot of martial art movies, where there used to be Bruce Lee movies where he's a kung fu master, there's fighting's happening, and then there's Jackie Chan, Drunken Master 1, 2, 3,
yeah.
stuff like that. And these movies have the same plot. Like you can guess the plot. But also the movie is never about the plot.
Yeah.
It was never about the plot. It's all about the fight scenes, and the fight scenes are just
They're
incredible.
just going forever. And
They're
the-
long
those,
and incredible.
those fight scenes have pacing to them that
Yeah.
I think American fight scenes don't have. Like,
Yeah.
there's that room to breathe of like both the people stepping back and to pause and like,
Yeah.
catch their breath and
Yeah.
like, all right, we gotta rest for a sec before we
Yeah.
go in for another bout.
Yeah.
Which is like something that I don't really think you ever see. I guess
You don't
in
see it
some-
too often of people taking their breath for fight scenes. There's
You
a
see
couple
it
of
where
fight
they
scenes
get a
where it's
break
like-
for a sec because
yeah.
they beat everybody who's run into the room currently.
But
and
they have
can,
like unlimited stamina.
pause
Though.
but then it's like it's not usually like both people acknowledging each other and
Yeah.
saying like just it's kind of
Yeah.
cool for them to be like,
Yeah.
give me a sec.
Give me a sec, yeah.
We're both gonna give each
Yeah.
other a sec and then we're gonna go back at it and one of us is gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
There's an
And-
honor to it.
yeah.
And in those fight scenes, particularly, I don't know what angle it is. It's like second person. I don't know, like it's like the sideways. It's not completely behind the protagonist or
Oh, yeah,
behind the antagonist. Like you see both of them, and it's a stable camera.
Mhm.
It's not moving. It's just all you see is both of them beating the crap out of each other.
yeah.
And then when, like you said, when they take a break, jump cut to another angle, and then they fight again, and then cut. I think that's even more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, there's so many movies with great fight scenes. I like Old Boy.
Yeah.
Old Boy, the fight scene. Oh god, that fight scene is just amazing. Like, I don't want to spoil it to anyone, so I just don't even want to talk about it because people have to watch that movie and watch
Also,
the fight
the
scene.
Revenant's opening fight scene too.
I have not seen
watched
The
it
Revenant.
since.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are really good.
That's a
as
good
well.
one. That one's less like choreographed. Like that one to me is more impressive because of the cinematography and like the camera's just moving in and out of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like other ones, I feel like a big one that we're missing that I haven't seen, so I can't talk about it. But Kingsman,
I have not
Which
seen
one?
Kingsman either.
both. I mean, they both have very highly
Choreographed fights. Yeah.
choreographed
Yeah,
fight scenes
yeah,
and
they both-
and over the top,
Mhm.
action. I know.
yeah.
I've seen the church scene,
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh yeah.
and the diner scene. I think that's in the second.
Oh, that's
one.
in the second part. Yeah.
That's in the second one. So I haven't seen either of those movies,
Oh
but
god, the church scene is pretty brutal.
but the church
yeah.
scene's another one where it's like there's just people everywhere, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with just a ridiculous number of people on the
Yeah.
ridiculous number of bodies and just one
Yeah.
person standing
Mhm.
over them. But I should watch those movies. I'd probably have a good time.
Do you know what had
The
like really
first movie,
funny
yes,
fight scenes
I
though?
did not quite enjoy the second movie. The second
really?
movie bored me to death.
Do you know what movie had like really funny fight scenes? Kick Ass.
Uh,
Kick Ass had some funny
Kick-Ass
fight.
was a good
I
movie.
actually
Yeah.
really fuck with Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
because
Kick-Ass,
that's
yeah.
one
Nick
of those.
Cage.
Which one?
Because it's
The
it's
second
it's
part or
the
the first
super
one?
First
it's a
one.
superhero
Okay.
movie,
But not.
Yeah.
but it's like in some ways it's like the most realistic superhero movie.
Yeah.
And there is some corny shit like a jetpack,
Yeah.
but
And
but
rocket launcher. Yeah.
there's also stuff of like he gets his ass beaten like,
Yeah.
hard,
in the beginning of like
at the beginning, and then it's like he's never really doing any superhero
Yeah.
shit. They get a little more into it in the second one. He's doing
Yeah.
more superhero shit, but like he's just a dude with like sticks.
Yeah.
you know,
That's oh god. Yeah. That.
which is
Oh man.
and so the
so
fact that he
good.
regularly gets the shit kicked out of him
Yeah.
Yeah.
is cool.
Also, I should have put that in one of my opening scenes. I don't remember. Like, just Nick Cage shooting his daughter in the chest in that scene is so funny to me because it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
That's another one.
Oh my god! Holy Oh, she's fine.
That's another one with the like a little girl
Yeah.
beating up a whole bunch of guys, but she's killing them with swords.
Well, but the
And
difference
guns,
is that
yeah.
like all the other dudes are like just inexperienced. Like she just has more training. Like
Well,
that's
true,
the-
but it's just like
It's
know,
also
in your
comic,
head,
yeah.
In your head, you should just be like, she's like a 12-year-old girl or something like
Yeah.
that. But she's got like some. I mean, she's cutting off their legs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
she's
yeah, yeah.
knocking
Yeah.
them out with punches.
And shooting them in the face.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
guns. There's that.
Typical
Too.
12-year-olds.
that,
Yeah.
that was made with the jetpack machine gun, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was.
God.
There was
Mark Strong in it. Is it Mark
Yeah.
Strong?
What a movie. We should do that for our next review.
Kick-Ass.
Oh,
yeah, I'd be down,
Wait,
dude.
I'd
I'd
find one.
I
fucks
have
with
Okay,
Kick-Ass.
all right,
to-
let's do Kick-Ass.
I completely forgot. How could I forget this? The Django Unchained fight scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is. I don't know. I
It's
love
comical,
that. I
though.
love that shootout.
I-
It's so
I
unrealistic.
was gonna say the
I
blood,
know.
it
the
was
blood
so
spurts.
unrealistic,
just
but it
take
is.
me out of it.
I
but-
love it. It's so good. I don't know for some
I
reason.
don't get drawn to like pure gunfight scenes so much.
Okay.
Like we talked about John Wick, and
Yeah.
that's true. There's a lot of other stuff intermingled.
Yeah, yeah,
between the shootings. He's
I wouldn't consider that a gunfight. I would consider
mean-
that like a proper fight. So
Yeah, he is using a gun and
Yeah.
shooting a lot of people, but he's also doing a lot of throws and grappling
Yes.
and punches and stuff like that. in
it
between.
turns into a knife fight by the
But
end of
Django
it.
for me ended up. I didn't like Django at all.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're racist then. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. Yeah, I wanted the plantation owner. I hated that movie except for Leonardo DiCaprio. He was no.
Yeah.
But no,
All right,
I didn't vibe with that movie at all.
Well,
one of my
Shamani has to
favorite-
get going.
That's
so
true.
I think
Yeah,
we
I
should
do,
wrap
I
up.
do.
We should wrap up.
Well, thank you for coming on, Shamani. I
Hey,
hope
no
you
problem.
had a good time. This has been the Fix It and Focus podcast, and I guess we're gonna probably do Kick-Ass in a couple weeks then.
Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass would be cool.
Yeah. Any recommendations on recent movies that you guys seen? Shamani's gonna go see Parasite tonight, so
Yeah.
it might
Yeah.
be on his.
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
don't know if I've seen anything.
I don't know.
super
I'm gonna
recently.
rewatch The Phantom Menace soon, so I can talk about it. So yeah.
Why?
Not with me though.
Nope, not with you, with Nate.
on your other
So,
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank
See
you for listening.
guys next week.
See you next
Yeah.
week.
Thank you, one listener.